Good afternoon. A bunch of noise up here on the other street. I'm out here. I have been working on our barbecue grill, which is, I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Whatever. Which is a few years old now, and it's been repaired once. I still need to replace the little drip pan. It's rusting out. I've got a little wren. Purple finch. Purple finch has made a nest up over the light there. So I try not to disturb her. They've just settled in. I think she's on eggs. But anyway, I don't know if you can see these things here. These three little metal tents that sit over the burners. The brackets that hold this front side toward me burns off. And then they drop down onto the burner, and that's not the way they're supposed to be. So I wired two of them up. Two of them had burned off, and I just put some cheaper wire around them and wired them up and put it over the front lip of the grill. And that worked pretty well, except that wire burned off. So a few years ago, I was up at the dump, and there was a guy over in the metal pile, and you probably can't see these, but the bottom one is a copper-plated one, and then the middle one is a larger, or same size as the copper, but a steel one. And then there's this smaller, thinner steel welding rods, welding wires, I guess. I don't know what they call them. It's straight wire. They're 3 feet long, 36 inches. And so I got thinking, well, maybe they're welding wire. Remember, so I cut some, I think they're like 9-inch pieces, one for each of those three tents, and I stuck it down in there, put it in. So I've got those up with welding rods now. And then I got looking at this top rack where you put the buns. Well, several of those little cross members had rusted right off to hair thin, or broken off, pin pricks. You could hurt yourself on those things if you got stuck, and they're rusty and da da da. So I thought, hey, I could use some of that same stuff. So I did. I cut more 9-inch pieces. There again, I can get 4 pieces out of one rod. That's nice. 9-inch pieces, and I replaced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got one more piece out there on my workbench that I can use. So I've I'm hoping that this isn't some kind of dangerous metal that's going to poison us and we'll be dead after our next barbecue. I don't think it is. I think it's just steel. I was just doing some research, and I think it's all either stainless steel or cobalt steel or nickel alloy, and I don't think any of those things are dangerous. So I'm going to go for it. It's only the ones on the upper rack. The maiden rack I replaced maybe last year anyway, when I wired, or maybe it was 2 years ago, when I wired up the original 2 tents. I've got my timer stuck to the side of the car over there, so hopefully it won't interrupt the nesting of our little bird. We used to have a pair of phoebes that came and built a nest over the side window of the workshop back there, the one with the door open. And they were there for 2 years, and they made a real mess over the window, but I don't care. You know, they're little birds, they eat bugs. That's good. Well, so last year, before I painted the workshop, I thought I was doing them a favor. I added an extra 3/4 inch board to make that a little bigger shelf. Well, they came back last spring. It was 2 years ago when I was painting the workshop. They came in last spring, and nope, they don't like it. So I almost pulled it off this spring, but Thelma said, nah, I'll just leave it there. It's all painted and blah, blah. Okay. They found some other place to build their nest. I think they're still in the neighborhood. I think they're out there behind, maybe on the neighbor's shed this year. But anyway, so I've spent the last hour or so refurbishing our barbecue, and that's today's project. I kind of got a slow start today. I'm recovering from our Friday and Saturday activities and walking yesterday. I may go out in the barn. I've got to start rearranging stock out there to make rooms on the shelves. I've got stuff up in my room that's got to go out in the barn. Thelma's in working on a new song. Well, she's working on some old songs, and she was writing a new one this morning, but she's not sure it's going to fly. So I haven't heard any. I don't hear these things till they're done, and that's fine. Then I can critique them if I think they need it. Have a great day, folks.